Welcome back, true believers and spectacular Spidey fans, to another Spider-Man PS4 related video. And do I have some news for you guys today? This is a brand new article that popped up on the PlayStation blog, posted by Sony themselves, and I will put the link in the description as soon as I can. And this is a update on the status of the PlayStation experience, and it mainly hints to Spider-Man PS4's appearance because, for me at least, I don't know if it works for the same as you guys, but if you click on the link to this article, almost every time it shows Spider-Man, that picture of Spider-Man on the front of the page, almost every time. So if that doesn't hint to Spider-Man being in the PlayStation experience, I don't know what does. And again, the same thing with all these ads recently. Like, there have been 30-second ads recently that have showcased PlayStation. You can play all these great games, not from the King, but like just for Black Friday. Like, oh, get all these great games for Black Friday if you get a PlayStation. And the trailer begins with Spider-Man, and then it shows Spider-Man for the first game to show, and then the very end of the trailer, it shows Spider-Man squinting his eyes. So it's really hinting towards that we're going to see Spider-Man at the PlayStation experience. I'm going to try and find that little clip, that little 30-second trailer I'm telling you about, and put it in the description below. Same with this article, but right here, PlayStation Experience 2016 panel lineup, 100 plus playable games. And I will let you read the majority of this, but the main parts I'm going to tell you about is two things. One, there's a difference between the keynote presentation and the panels that they show off during the PlayStation Experience. So, what the difference is that the keynote presentation is kind of like what they did with E3. That was like their E3 press conference where they had the orchestra and they just showed game after game after game. That is going to be the equivalent of the keynote presentation for the PlayStation Experience, which, as you can see right there in the middle, starts off on Saturday at 10 a.m. sharp with our biggest PlayStation showcase. But take note, as always, seating space will be limited. Of course, it's going to be a packed show. There's going to be thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people there just trying to get in the doors, just trying to even watch this thing in person. If they saw how amazing E3 was for Sony, I'm assuming this is going to be like the 2.0 version of their E3 conference, because I believe that their E3 conference this year was the greatest E3 conference ever, not just for Sony, but ever. The way they handled it, the presentation, the games, it was amazing. So right here, it is mainly discussing about the experience itself. Like, people are coming in the country, people are coming in around the world just to see this. And then the bottom paragraph is very, very, very interesting. The bottom paragraph right here. Then come the panels. We're locked and loaded for 6, keep in mind, 6 developer panels this year. And in my humble opinion, it's our strongest lineup by a country mile. I hate to go all cloak and dagger, but we can only reveal 3 of the panels at this time. Trust me, the other 3 will be worth the wait. So that might explain why it is still not officially announced that Insomniac Games will be at the PlayStation Experience so far, because of how they're keeping everything under wraps. And as you can see, like I said previously, the main presentation, the main PlayStation Experience presentation where we will maybe see a gameplay demo of Spider-Man PS4, which I think will mainly happen, will be at 10 a.m. sharp. And here, you have 3 unannounced developer panels. Now, it is still unknown if these developer panels are for games that are not released yet, or are for games that were announced already, that we saw at E3, or if they are games that we have no clue at all. Like, we don't know if a developer panel could be for Sucker Punch's new game, whether that's Sly Cooper 5, Infamous 4, a new IP, or even if it's Last of Us 2, something like that. We don't know anything about these 3 unknown panels, but they are each an hour long, and I would not be surprised if Insomniac was on one of these, just because of the lack of stuff that we have heard from them based on the game. We've only seen 3 footages of the game, 2 of which were the actual game, 1 of which was just a cool little CGI live-action clip, and then we just saw 2 screenshots of the city at nighttime, of New York City at nighttime. But really, if you add it all together, within about 6 months' time, we have had a total amount of 1 minute and 50 seconds worth of Spider-Man PS4 footage, which is absolutely insane. I would think it is now officially time that we get more news for Spider-Man PS4, whether or not that's a gameplay demo, another gameplay trailer, anything that we can get our hands on. We would just want more Spider-Man PS4, of course. And here's the interesting thing. So we may, and most likely, will see more of Spider-Man PS4 at the PlayStation Experience. Whether or not it's going to be playable is still unknown. So right here, it says, and now for the games. We are currently looking at well over 100 playable games at the PlayStation Experience this year, though for the discerning eye, you'll only see 96 on this list. Again, these are only the games we're allowed to talk about for right now. Plenty more will be revealed at Anaheim. Right there, even Sony themselves is hiding from us what the remaining 6 games will be. And I do believe they don't even know what the games will be until they get there and until they are announced. That might be a bit far-fetched, but right there, we are only allowed to talk about them for now. If Spider-Man PS4 is in those unknown 6, it's probably because Insomniac is really wanting to blow us away with what they're going to show us. Again, the reason why they're not on the list of developers on here, or in this case right here, you're going to see 96 games that are going to be there, and right here is the S section, and as you can see in the S section, Spider-Man is not on this list. But again, they are mainly not on the list of games that are going to be playable because of how they're still making the game. They will be more than happy to show us the game, like a full-on gameplay demo, like what God of War did, but that doesn't mean that they're going to let the people play the game. Like, even though that God of War demo was amazing, that was only just for a gameplay demo to see what the game looks like being played out. Having the players be able to play it already is not the case. So with Spider-Man PS4, I expect the same thing, which is why it would not be in the list of playable games, but it would be in the list of games to be shown off at the PlayStation Experience, which is why this article is very interesting and is very helpful and reassuring for us as Spider-Man fans. And again, the fact that they're showing Spider-Man on the front here at the very top of this article is very, very reassuring. Again, they're switching between all the other PlayStation exclusives like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4. But if, for me, when I kept on clicking on this link separate times, it kept going back to this picture of Spider-Man. So I think that's trying to hint at something related to the game. And again, if you want to see Spider-Man PS4 the most, get ready at 10 a.m. sharp, because that is when the big presentation is going to happen. The interesting thing is that at the Sony PlayStation Pro event, where we thought we would get a gameplay demo there, but we just got a 30-second clip, the very first game that they showed off in that conference was Spider-Man. And it was very amazing to see it be shown first. So, with PlayStation Experience, since this is their kind of second E3, I'm going to call it their E3 2.0, you got to take into consideration how their main E3 was, which was, if you don't take in the consideration of the gameplay demo of Days Gone, technically the last game that they showed off at E3 was Spider-Man PS4, a trailer for Spider-Man PS4, which is very amazing. Saving the best for last with Spider-Man, the reveal of that by Insomniac Games was amazing. That's why Insomniac Games won that award for Best Surprise at E3, and they totally deserve it too. For PlayStation Experience, where we will see it, I do not know. I'm going to have my money in the middle. Maybe like what they did with the Final Fantasy VII Remake at the last year PlayStation Experience, where they had the Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay be revealed after they showed Uncharted 4 gameplay first, and then they kind of introduced the panel, or the keynote presentation, and then they showed the Final Fantasy VII gameplay, and then they went on to show off the smaller games. With this, there's so many huge games coming out this year, so it's hard to decide what games they're going to show and not show in order for Spider-Man. So for Spider-Man, I think they're either going to save it in the very beginning, maybe not first, but maybe like right after they introduce the first game, or maybe even last. Save the best for last. You never know. But since this is the third PlayStation Experience, again, third time's the charm. This is their third annual experience, and this is going to blow all of our socks off. I'm going to put the link in the description for you guys, but again, there are 6 unknown games we still don't know about, whether or not those are games that we saw at E3 that we don't know will be at this experience, or if those are 6 unknown games that we have no idea exist at all. Like, again, Sucker Punch's new game, Naughty Dog's Uncharted DLC, whatever that's going to be, a full-on new game in general. We do not know, but look out for these 3 unannounced panels. I would not be surprised if Insomniac is at one of these, but if it is not at one of these, then you can almost guarantee it to be at the main presentation, which takes place on December 3rd to the 4th. This is going to be an amazing experience. Get ready, everybody, and prepare to get your socks blown right off of your feet. And thank you so much for watching, True Believers. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out.